Are you a book lover or enthusiast? Do you need genuine and unique lifestyle products? Or are you looking for a place where you can find contemporary and a wide range of unique gifts for children and adults? Laterna is your go-to place for genuine and contemporary books and lifestyle products for wholesale and retail customers. We stock business books on management, leadership, financial success, entrepreneurship, personal development, and so much more. We carry children's fiction, non-fiction, educational books, CDs, and DVDs. We also stock Christian books on various themes such as family life and parenting, church life and growth, spirit-filled living, love, sex, and marriage, to mention but a few. Laterna carries life and style books such as baby and child care, beauty and style, conception and pregnancy, crafts, and hobbies. We also carry adult, children, and teenagers' Bibles, educational toys, framed art, gifts, greeting cards, home and office fragrances, music CDs and DVDs, stationery, teachings, and lots more. Our stores are located at plot 1611 Adiola Hopewell Street, Victoria Island, Lagos. Online at www.laternabooks.ng. Laterna, your lifestyle hub for book lovers. For inquiries, call 0803 301 4462, 0809 525 3223, 0809 525 3484, or 0809 525 3485. Chat with us via WhatsApp on 0810 023 4441. You may also reach us on social media via Twitter at Laterna Books, Instagram at Laterna Books, and Facebook at Laterna Ventures.
Super delighted to be the anchor for today's event. Please permit me at this moment to ask that we please rise. We're going to be starting off with the opening prayer. So can we please rise? I'd like us to put our hands together for Dr. Mrs. Yetunde Soile as she leads us in the opening prayer. Please let's put our hands together.
Please sit while I take the prayer. Father, in the name of Jesus, we want to bless you for today, the day that you have made. We are rejoicing, we are glad in it because of your daughter, Asada. Father, we thank you for her life. We thank you for her family. We thank you for the privilege given to her today, to see today, oh Lord, and to bring this milestone about. Father, we just bless your name. Accept our thanks in Jesus' name. Father, we acknowledge your awesomeness in our lives since you were born, all till this point in time, through childhood, through adulthood, O Lord, through marriage, O Lord, you've been our rock, our fortress. Father, we return all honor, glory, and adoration to you in Jesus' name. Father, we say this is the beginning of better things to come in our life in Jesus' name. As we start today, please start with us in Jesus' name. Come and take control and direct all the affairs of today in Jesus' name. And when we look back today, Lord, we will say, Lord, we engage with our Jesus, you are present, Father, you are good, you are great. Father, we have prayed in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Can we please have a seat? Thank you very much, ma'am. At this point, I have the singular honor of welcoming the latest author in town, the gorgeous lady in purple, to have her opening remarks. Please, I don't want you to stop clapping because I'm going to keep passing her until she gets here. She's beautiful, she's brains, and she's beautiful in and out. Please welcome Mrs. Oluwatoyin Asada. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. This is a very intimate gathering, and it means a lot to me that you all made it. Dami, how much time do I have? 5 minutes. All right. I'm supposed to have book review. So let me just begin by giving all glory to God. This book, one of the speakers, when I sent my application to her to be a part of this, Toyosi, she was over here. She told me, "Well done on obeying the assignment from God." This is an assignment from God. I was doing my own thing, and He put this idea in my mind, and it just kept expanding and growing and growing. From an IG live, there were so many things I had to share, and I realized that I couldn't share it in 1 hour. And I just said, "What do I do?" And then the idea just came to put it in an ebook. From an ebook, it became, I'm going to pay for 5 copies of the physical copy. I'm like, okay. And then I was encouraged to just go ahead and get it published in physical copies. And here we are today. Beyond Handshakes is my story. If you read this book, or if you have read this book, it's not just a theory book. It's a book that I share my different experiences and experience of people that I've learned from about the role that networking plays in building your business. I've shared the story before, but I'll share it here again. At a pretty young age of 25, I made a decision to start my own law practice in Lagos, Nigeria, in a very interesting economy. And that was a decision that I understood the implications of what that would take. And it took me a couple of months to take that decision and actually do it. And one key tool that has been very instrumental in building that practice, which is now a limited partnership, we are growing to the glory of God, was networking. Networking was very key. People are central to all we do in our business and even as a creative. And I'm so glad that we have speakers from the media industry, from the corporate world, different aspects of life. People are central. In business, they're your customers, they're your investors, they're the stakeholders, the governments, they're your stakeholders. So how do you leverage the human resources around you to work for you? So this book is me sharing my journey so far, apart from my personal journey, also the research I've done, the books I've read, and I'm still growing and learning. So it's a learning process. But what I've learned so far, I'm just sharing. And my hope is that today's sessions, our speakers will shed more light on other aspects of networking, sharing their own unique journeys with regards to networking. And I hope that we are all able to get, wisdom from this knowledge, and we are impacted. And we're also able to share, ask questions, and just learn together in today's forum. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this lunch. Thank you so much. Please let's keep clapping for her. That was succinct, but also very, very, very. There are some things she said that I paid keen attention to. She said people are central. There's nowhere that you do not interact with people. We're here with lots of people, and everywhere we have to interact with people day in, day out. And without people, really, the world is a boring place. And because people are different kinds of people, there's a lot to learn from each interaction. So I'd like us to pay keen attention. People will be sharing their stories today. As they share their stories, I'm hoping that we will all learn something and that we'll be better for it at the end of the day. I have the honor right now to welcome some of our guests today. Ms. Asada has invited every single one of us really, and we have honored her invitation. First, I'd like us to please put our hands together, and pardon me, I'm going to ask us to give a standing ovation to welcome the mother of the author. Please let us put our hands together as we honor Mrs. Mary Oluwatoyin. Thank you very much, Mommy. Mom, it's you. We're welcoming. Please have your seat, Mom. We're honoring you. Thank you very much, Mommy. Please let's have our seats. Thank you so much for indulging me. I met with Mom earlier on, and I can see that she's a fashionista through and through. So she's passed the baton on to Tony, and they both look gorgeous. Thank you so much again for coming, Mommy. I want us to also honor someone special, someone very special to the author. So these two people are going to ask you to rise. Just keep forgiving me when I ask for it. He's seated at the back because he doesn't want us to really shine the light on him, but we're going to do so because we know that for her to be such a successful woman in life, in practice, there's someone that is that is standing by her. So please permit me again, can we rise and give a rousing ovation to the husband of the author, Engineer Imole Raphael Asada. Thank you so much, sir. We deeply honor you. Please let's take our seats. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for indulging me. We have a few other guests here that I would love to recognize. We have here Mrs. Esther Bolaji Opunlowo. Mommy, we appreciate your presence. Thank you very much. We also have our panelists and our speakers here, and I'm sure that we're going to be listening to them very soon. I don't want to recognize them before I recognize them, right? So we'll all just do it at once. In case you don't know, this program is being live streamed, so we can get the link. If you have people that would benefit from it, people that you know that they want to learn what it means to network and to do it properly, please share the link with them. We would get the link across, and if it can be displayed, we would greatly appreciate it. Right now, we're moving into the panel session, the first panel session. Like I said earlier on, it's a day of discussions, it's a day of conversations. People are coming to share their stories. People are not sugarcoating anything, right? Telling you how it happened, when it happened, and letting us know every single part of their lives and how networking has contributed to their success. So we have two panel sessions today. The first one will be dealing with people that are in the corporate space. So you own a business, you're an entrepreneur, that's your session. And then the second panel session has to do with people that are creatives. We know that right now a lot of people identify as creative. And if you really think about it, we're all creatives. There's something you have created before, right? So that session, if you're in the creative space, if you're in the media space, you definitely want to pay keen attention. So let's put our hands together for the first panelist in this session, Funto Iboye. She is a dynamic CEO and the CEO of 528 Interior Limited, a renowned global firm specialized in design, architecture, and property development. Funto is an alumnus of Joseph Business School and a graduate of Covenant University, where she graduated with honors in accounting. Funto later embarked on a new adventure where she transitioned to brand management at the renowned multinational company L'Oreal. Funto, however, set up her own business, 528, because of her entrepreneurial spirit. Through books, coaching programs, and speaking engagements, Funto has impacted numerous individuals globally. As an accomplished author, she has written 6 impactful books. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for our panelists, Mrs. Funto Iboye. Our second panelist on this session is Mrs. Ajoke Akinshola. She's an associate partner and the head of corporate commercial practice at Pinheiro LP Law Firm. With over 15 years of experience, she specializes in negotiating and drafting commercial contracts, regulatory compliance, project finance, and corporate governance. She holds law degrees from the Ogun State University and the University of Birmingham. Mrs. Akinshola is passionate about innovation, entrepreneurship, and problem solving. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mrs. Ajoke Akinshola. Thank you very much, ma'am. Our moderator for this session is Mrs. Ifoma Abidoye. With a BSc in Business Economics and an MSc in Finance and Economics, Ifoma Abidoye is also a certified fintech practitioner who has forged an impressive 13-year career in fintech as well as in corporate and investment banking. She has strategically managed high net worth corporates across diverse sectors like technology, real estate, energy and infrastructure, fast-moving consumer goods, and manufacturing. She has proudly managed 2 companies that were recognized amongst the Financial Times 2022 Top 50 Africa's Fastest Growing Companies. Now, during her time at FBN Quest, She led the transaction banking and technology innovation desk at the bank. She's currently the head of strategy and partnerships at Binary Stream Limited, and she forges game-changing alliances and wields innovative strategies to propel sales. Ladies and gentlemen, please let us welcome our moderator of the session, Mrs. Ifoma Abidoye. Our last panelist for this session is also around, Mr. Ehiosu Odaro, with over 22 years experience in the banking and finance sector. He's an alumnus of the prestigious Lagos Business School. Mr. Ehiosu is a trained funds manager and a seasoned credit analyst. He's a member of the Nigerian Institute of Management, a member of the Institute of Directors of Nigeria, and a fellow in the Chartered Institute of Public Diplomacy and Management. He's currently the MD CEO of First Marina Trust Finance Company Limited, a CBN licensed non-banking financial institution. Please let us put our hands together for Mr. Ehiosu Odaro as he comes forward. Thank you very much, sir. Please don't stop to be seated.
Thank you so much. Is it working? Thank you so much for. It's working. Okay, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction. Such amazing panelists with us. A businesswoman, a lawyer, an MD. Very, very interesting. Thank you so much for the introduction. We're going to get right into it. And today's session is for us to discuss and get experiences from our wonderful panelists in terms of how they've been able to network and manage relationships to upscale their businesses or grow their careers. We're going to learn from them, and we're going to take notes, and we're going to get better in terms of our networking. So we'll just go straight into it and hear from them. Let's just say, what is networking? So when we say networking, what is networking to you? And I'll start with you, Mrs. Akinshola.
Okay, so networking for me, even though it's been defined as the process of interacting with someone and building a relationship, whether professionally or for social, I think I would add the fact that networking is something you do intentionally with the hope of having a better outcome from any relationship. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mrs. Ibi.
Thank you so much.
Can I get that pronunciation? Iboye. Mrs. Iboye.
I think, like you said, basically, for me, networking is connecting intentionally with people, so on different structures, whether it's business, whether it's friendship, just really connecting with people. So for me, the key word is connection.
Thank you so much. So connection, that seems to be a very, very deep thing here. So I'm going to flip the question a bit for you, sir. What isn't networking? So what's networking? What are we going to say? This isn't networking. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So when we all said connected, so what can we say isn't networking from your own perspective?
Thank you very much. Before I speak on what is networking, I will just say what networking is from another perspective. I think networking is life. Right? If we go to even our very formation, we are a product of the combination of networking cells. I became networking tissues. I became networking organs. Became networking systems, and became an entity. Okay, so not networking is actually dying.
Please take note. Not networking is actually dying. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so, so much. So, in your experiences, how has networking been a game changer for you? In what way did you think something would happen, and then because of your networks, that changed all of a sudden? And please, as we're speaking, if you have any questions in the audience, please take a note. You can write it down. Someone will come now to pass the questions. And you can, if you want someone in particular to answer it, please let us know so that they will answer at the end of this session. Yes, sir. The questions for you, please.
Okay. If we build on what I just said in my introduction, the critical thing to how networking has helped impact my business. First of all, you have to look at yourself and have a perspective of what you want to achieve. You have to be as honest and as pragmatic as possible. I hear this all the time. Dress the way you want to be addressed. Okay. So networking is not just meeting people, really. It's the value exchange. Okay. I've met, for everybody here, we've met a lot of people before we came to this place. Right? We said hello to somebody. If there's no value exchange, really, it's just meeting strangers. So what do you have to present to the person to take advantage of what he has to present to you? So critically, building on your character, building on your value system is very primary and significant to meeting people and how they transcend your business or your career to the next level. I'll stop there.
Thank you so much. And this also still links with networking is life. If you're leaving, you need to be networking because you need people to take you to the next level. Mrs. Akishola.
Okay. I would say that long before Toyin wrote this book, I'm not sure many of us realize that networking is a skill that we actually required and needs to be learned. And as I progressed in my career, I didn't even know the importance of networking until I became a partner in the firm. Because I suddenly realized that as a partner, you are literally going to now be added to the bottom line. So which means you're going to need people. I think what helped was I was already, so to speak, maybe a friendly person, but I realized I needed to know more people. So as I progressed, and it's actually been a treasure because some that I professionally network with have become even friends. So along as I grew in my career, I realized it really helped. It helped me move forward. It helped me be more recognized. And of course, it helped the purse, like we say, because the more clients you have, the more benefits for you. So yes, networking has been great. It's a part of my career. And I think it's a skill everybody needs to learn. And so Toyin has really done us a favor by putting that in the book.
Thank you, Toyin. Another commendation. Mrs. Iboye. Mrs. Iboye. As a businesswoman, how have you found networking to help? In what way has networking helped?
I really love this conversation so much. I'm wanting to just share from my journey into business. So I remember, I think I was 24, 25, I was volunteering. I remember 23, when I was 23, when I did right, I used to volunteer a lot for different events. And on one occasion, I was volunteering for a particular conference. And I just written my first book. And one of the keynote speakers at the conference was the MD at L'Oreal there. And when he was done giving his speech, he was leaving, and the convener of the conference had allowed me to display my books for sale at the conference. So he was leaving, and he saw I saw my books on display and picked up a copy. And then he says, or he asked the person around who wrote this book or who did this book. So the person came to call me. I go to meet him. I was like, oh, he gave me his card and says, come to my office on Monday. All right, I was already working somewhere, so I take his card rather, and I go for the meeting on Monday. We're 10 minutes into discussion, and then he calls the HR, and that's how from meeting he moved to interview, and that's how I got to role at L'Oreal. Right, that was how I started my journey into L'Oreal. I tried that to say, it was because when he saw my book, he saw the value. He was working in the book was on beauty basically, and he was working in the beauty industry, beauty company. I was like, this book is so good. So first thing for me is it's such a person of value, which we've highlighted earlier. Then moving on from there, I did about 2-3 years in L'Oreal, and they had to shut down operations in Nigeria. And by the time they wanted to do that, I was already married, and they wanted to move me to the Ghana branch. So my husband wasn't having it, he wasn't going to go to Ghana. So am I going to Ghana? So I stayed back, and by that time I was already pregnant with my first child. So here I was, no job, no income, pregnant. In fact, I gave birth to my first child, and I was just home doing nothing, changing pampers, packing baby, washing plates, and all of that. And one day I just said to myself, this cannot be what my life is about. Like, coming from, I've been a career person all my life, and then here I was not doing anything. And I remember one incident that just, made me have a brain reset. So I thought, oh, you need to wake up. Was my husband was going out one morning, and I asked him, babe, please, I need money to make my hair. And the way he responded to me, I'm asking for money to make it. That's why you're talking to me like this. But I remember just going back and just saying that, this can be how my life is. And, in that period, someone sent me, a flyer about an interior design course, right? And, at that time, I didn't even have money for it. The course was about 120K then, but I didn't have money for it, right? So I found out how to ask my husband for money. He paid for the course, and I remember after finishing the course for 6 months, then I did internship. It was one day during the internship I was supervising the project, and I just took a picture of myself and posted on my Instagram page, just saying something around, I'm now an interior designer. If you need my services, call me. And that very day, I got two of my very first 2 clients, and they were both over ₦1 million projects. And that was how I started business. And then along the line, by the time I got this client, right, I didn't have the structure yet. But a friend of mine who had been in the industry or in the business 2 years before me, I reached out to her, and she literally gave me a list of all her artisans to start my business based on that, because she's my friend. So sharing that on, if I didn't have a good relationship with her, there was no way she would have given me all her contacts, all her artisans to start my business, right? And eventually the business started to grow. I just wanted to pick up those two experiences just to see how people have been very significant to growth. So whether it's in corporate or it's in business, you really need people to do that.
Thank you so much. I hope we're listening. Those were a lot. So she said, be a person of value. When you're a person of value, you get people, you're attracted to opportunities. Opportunities are attracted to you. People are looking for you. And then also be friendly. So if she had those friends, when she needed them, she would have been able to take on that job. So, and be ready. Yeah. When the opportunity comes, be ready for it. So be a person of value, be ready, and be friendly. So I'm going to ask Ms. Ekishola, how can we be a person of value? What can we do to be a person of value in this networking journey?
Okay, I think most importantly, it's important that you stay authentic. Just like Tony wrote in her book, people can spot a fake. But if you're authentic, what you'll find out is that you build genuine relationships. And you find out that you have to invest in these relationships. It's a thing of value. You are giving value, you're receiving value. So for instance, what I've done over the years is, of course, I've made mistakes in the past. So when you're trying to build this sort of relationships, be mindful of what you do. Just like Tony had written in her book. A few years ago, for instance, when I was still young, I met someone who was very high up there in the banking industry. This was about 11 years ago. And I went to him and I said, because I'd known him, he was actually a neighbor when we were in primary school. And he used to live upstairs. We were living downstairs. And I went to him and I said, oh, good afternoon, sir. I'm so sorry. So do you remember me? You were actually our neighbor. You used to live upstairs with your wife. I mentioned her name. And instantly, I could see his reaction. He literally froze. He obviously didn't want to be reminded of his past. So I felt, oh gosh, I made a mistake, because he went instantly cold. he didn't sort of respond to me. So over the years, I realized, just like Tony said, there are certain conversations or questions you don't ask people. You're meeting someone for the first time in years, don't go and say, were you not living in Ikorodu? Or excuse me, were you not the one I saw in primary? So I realized that wasn't an icebreaker. It's not a conversation starter. So what I've done over the years, and I was telling you earlier, is that when I meet someone, I'm in a gathering, so that I can remember, because Tony said, and please pardon me for every time I refer to Tony's book, because when I kept reading it, it felt like my story as well. And so, I realized that you can be afraid. I'm sure almost everyone is afraid when they're meeting people for the first time. And in my profession, because I'm trying to build my career, get more clientele, so what I've done over the years is join like major associations that are within my field. For instance, the Nigerian Bar Association, the International Bar Association, Section of Business Law, Women in Business, XCAN, and things like that. So when I meet someone for the first time, I realize, okay, what are the key things I'm looking for? And what do I need to do? Especially so that I can remember your name. Because over the years, even though I've met people, I see them again, and for some reason I can't remember their names. So what I did was develop a strategy to remember. So what I would do is, for instance, I'd meet you for the first time and I'd say, oh wow, what's your name? And I'll hear your name, I'll pay a compliment. Wow, beautiful name. What part of Nigeria is that from? And they'll tell me, and I'll say, I may say, oh, lovely dress. And then when I hear your name, I go on to say something like, oh, what do your friends call you? What's your nickname? And then I'm hearing boobs or jokey or something like that. And then for me, that sticks, okay? And then we just start that conversation. So I realized, especially if people are in that line, of your profession, or they align with your thoughts. So there are many ways. Once you have that conversation starters, the important thing is ensuring that you also follow up with that person. So what I've also done over the years.
So much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So much to learn. So much. Yes.
When she was speaking, I remember it says, because networking, you can feel it either way. While I was serving, I was this type of person that needed to make things, ensure that things are done properly, things are done in a very nice way, and I am a very friendly person. So at times when I go into that friendly mode, I will even be able to defend, because I can go to the limit. So I was part of those who did the singing in the morning. For those who I've said before, those early morning workouts, I'll be the one singing. I took part in everything. Right? It was football, it was dancing, it was drama, and like she said, you don't have to be fake, and that's also what Tony wrote about. So I was ready. I'll tell you how this played out. Then I got this, I said the Nigerian Gas Company. So those days, we used to pick Tuesday Guardian to look at job opportunities in apply. So I saw this interview for, I think it was Coca-Cola aptitude test, and I came all the way to Lagos. That would be the first time coming to Lagos. I came to Lagos to write the test. The moment I got to Unilab, that was the venue. The guys I served with, the ladies I served with, everyone said I served with. I didn't even know I was going to meet people I knew. But because of the things I've done, because when I was serving in the Nigerian Gas Company, they used to give us lunch and dinner. So I come back home to the accommodation they gave to us with a lot of food and give to other coppers that didn't have a place to serve. So some of these persons are living in Lagos, and they're like, oh, everybody talk. When we're done with the test, we all come back again, and they said, oh, there's a place in Bagada. Remember, I don't know Lagos. There's a place in Bakana, there's this place called ICSL. I don't know if they are still there. They usually conduct tests for graduates, and if you do well, they connect your credentials and they help you get a job. So this was a Saturday. So he said these tests are organized on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I got there on Tuesday, they were all there. We wrote the test. I passed. All of them that said I must be there, none of them passed. Right? I passed, and that's how I got the job I have. And that's how I grew on the job. So if I was this person that um, do not appreciate friendship when you meet people, some persons can be very drawn back. So it's just me, I'm living on my own. I probably would have met them, or they would have seen me and just one of those faces, and I probably wouldn't have written that test in Bagada, and I wouldn't have been sitting here today. Because that test I wrote paved the way, to who I've become. Yes, God is in the foundation. But that test I wrote paved the way to who I've become today. So the talking is actually like.
Thank you so much. So be useful, be engaged, be involved, and of course be friendly. Mrs. Mrs. Nigoye. So I want to ask a question. If you need to network and you find that this person, you need to network with the person, you need them for your business, your career, but your values don't align, or you're trying to be friendly and the person is not friendly as well. How do you go about that situation, especially when you still need to have that relationship with the person?
That's a very, very interesting question, right? And it still boils down to being authentic, right? Just because you want to network with someone, or you need them for a certain thing in your business, or you need them to maybe you need them to approve something that your business requires, and they're not coming, they're not giving you the vibe or the energy that you require, right? I think for me, the first thing first is I'll really try to understand why the person is the way they are, because people it's really who they are that shows off in how they do everything else, right? So understand that maybe this person is really not a friendly person, or this person is a very mind my business person, so he doesn't like small talks, doesn't like conversations. Just this is what I'm here for, this is what I want, how can I get it, right? So that plays a major part, understanding what kind of person this is, right? And then playing to the tune of that person, especially if it's somebody that I really need. I really need this person. That's one way. I'll just understand the person. Okay, this is what I want. How can you help me do it, right? If that's not working, second way that me from so is to go and sit with the person that made the person, which is a God factor. Sir, I need this person to sign this contract or approve this whatever, and he's not coming. And I mean, at the situations we had a situation like that in my business recently. So we did a project for one of the major banks, right? And this person on the bank's team who for some reason didn't just like us because we did not come through. The person is the head of procurement, but we didn't come through the procurement. The person that referred us is not from the procurement team, right? And so this person, from get-go just wanted to make things really difficult for us, right? And we needed him to sign off on to approve something that we needed to move ahead on the project, and it wasn't coming through. So we fixed the meeting. And I told the children the day before the meeting, I said, guys, I'm going to take time to pray, and we are going to go for the meeting fasting. So I took time to pray. I was calling the person's name, and I God, this person, I know scripture says he has the heart of kings in his hand. This person is a king in this company. I need you as king of kings to talk to this your king to give us what we need, right? And we went for the meeting. Even though he wasn't smiling with us, it wasn't even, but everything we asked for, he approved. So at that point, I didn't need him to smile with me. I didn't need him to be my friend. I just needed him to do what he needed to do, and he did that. So yes, that's how I would handle that situation.
Thank you so much. We will have to take a pause now to take questions, but let us remember the lesson here. So if a king or a kingmaker is not playing ball with you, remember to go to the King of Kings and take that matter to him. Questions from the audience, please. Q&A. Are there questions, burning questions?
My question, but where she mentioned that if you really admire someone from social media and you're trying to get the person to notice you. You know, you do everything, liking the person's posts, leaving a comment, just making the person know that, I'm here, I appreciate you. Let's start from somewhere. And you keep doing and doing and doing, and the person is like, who are you? The person is not even giving you face. And you are seeing this person also liking somebody else that leaving a comment, and you're like, is there something wrong with me? And you're just like, I beg, let me just flash it. One day you go to get there. Do you understand? So she already answered the question. Like, you go to Baba God.
But beyond that,
so I wanted to say, before going to Baba God, is it okay to just ignore the person?
So I have a good example. There's my assistant presently. We met off Instagram. So she will like my posts, she'll comment. I just note that this person always comments, this person always liking my post. But beyond that, I noticed that for like 2 events where I spoke at, I saw her at the event. She came to the event and then she'll come and meet me. This person is always commenting my post. Then one particular event I had was on a Sunday. It was very early. I was preaching at the church very early. Their first service 7 a.m. And I got there and she was sitting in front. And that literally almost blew my mind. So after the service, I asked her, that where are you coming from? The church was in somewhere like that, and she was coming all the way from last week. So that means she left her house very early. So I'm like, okay, why are you following me like this? There must be something. So I invited her over to a meeting the next day at the office. And by the time she came, she already had, she had come prepared. She came giving me like a presentation on how she can help my life, how she can simplify my life. And at that time, that was what I needed. Yes, I had an assignment assistant, but I needed someone who understood me and could carry on things without me, like could just be proactive, without me, having to micromanage and say this and this and this and this. And she had that, and she has been with me for over a year now. Because yes, started from commenting, liking, then she started following me in real life. Then she brought, when I finally gave her the audience for a meeting, she brought value. Right? So it's beyond just saying that you like to comment, you are not. What value are you bringing? What value are you giving the person? Yeah.
If I may just add to that, if it's professionally, what I would advise and what I've done is when you invest, when I say invest in the relationship, so you can decide to take the person out for lunch or dinner. So I've done that a few times. Or for instance, I've stopped over at a friend's, someone I was trying to poach literally. She seemed very quiet when we first met. I collected her card. I kept in touch. And then one day I was having a meeting in Ikoyi, very close to our office. So I said, I'm going to branch. But before I branched, I branched a Gourmet Twist and bought her a pack of 6 banana breads. And then I took it in. And when she saw it, she was so happy. Immediately it sort of transformed the relationship because now we're on a high rate level where we're chatting, to the point where I've invited her for a book lunch and she came and even came with 2 family members. So yes, you can take them out for lunch or dinner or even invite them for other events like a book lunch today. You can invite them. So professionally, sometimes that also helps.
Have you ever felt fear or imposter syndrome? When you meet people that you want to be associated with, you want to network with, but then there is just something happening. Maybe I'm just not good enough to talk to this person. What am I supposed to do to this person? Have you ever been in such situations? And how did you come to it?
Yes, not once, not twice. For some of us here, we grew up in Lagos, right? So you may not understand what it means for somebody to grow up outside Lagos, and to grow up in a system where you're probably not given an opportunity. As a young child, you were already walking on the streets, and you went to primary schools with your classmates, stopped with you went to secondary schools where uniforms are tattered. Teachers don't come to school and stuff like that. And you find your way through it. And here you are in Lagos. And you're blown beyond the things you see, the people you meet. So, of course, if that is your background, which was my background, the fear will come. But I had a boss who I watched closely. I realized that no matter the situation, she has somebody to call. Whether it's custom, whether it's banking, whether it's wherever, there's somebody to call and the problem is sorted. So one of these days in the office, she usually worked very late. So I stayed back late that day and she was, hey, what are you still doing? You talk with you? I said, I want you to see you. I want to see you. And she said, okay. So I said, how do you do it? How come you know everybody? How come you know everybody? And then she smiled and she sat me down and started teaching me some of the things you wrote in your book, about being real, about values, and most importantly, she taught me self-confidence. So, and she said, these persons you see, they're just like you. Okay. To get to meet them, you need to start understanding what people like, what people don't like. You have to be vast. So, if it's a man, men will usually like sports. What kind of sports will a man like? So, if you are in that place, you have an opportunity to have a one-on-one with a person. What's the first conversation line you have to strike? If it's a woman, what are things that women like? In which of the sector does the person belong? And if you're real, you will be noticed. You'll be like a star because you will sing easily. Okay, let me digress slightly. May he so rest in peace, the late former governor of Ondo State. When he was going to run for office, I had a friend who was a classmate in Lagos Business School who was also running for governorship in Ondo State. He didn't make it through the primaries, so I was a member of his think tank. And so the late governor wanted to collapse his structure into his. I have this sentiment for People's Democratic Party, but these guys are in all progressive Congress. So when we were in their inner caucus meeting, this is what they told me. I wasn't there. He said, if you need somebody that will tell you you're stupid, really you, if you look closely, that is true. Is this guy. So we need this guy that will come in here, just like the story of the Bible, where Israel wanted to go to war, and Ahab called for the prophets. The prophets lied to Ahab, for those of us that are Christians here. But he didn't know they lied. But somebody insisted that there must be, let's hear from somebody else. And another prophet came and said, if you go to that war, you're going to die, blah, blah, blah. So they describe me as that other prophet, that if he tells you A is A. And he got interested. And that's how I was incorporated into a 9-month think tank. Okay, so being real is very important. And that also opened me to knowing. So at that point, I realized that when I got into that meeting, I realized that it is at the base level, you see parties. At the top, they are all the same. So, because I met people at the top who were in different parties, they were working together for one common goal. So, being real is very important. What do people know you for? Okay, so in that fear, to address the question of fear, self-confidence is very important. Knowing how to strike a conversation. When you have built the confidence, it's easy knowing what they like, how to strike the conversation. I went to a customer's place when I was doing marketing those days, and I saw Fidelity Bank. Sorry, I'm actually calling them Super Bank. I saw two other banks. Those who do marketing, you see like 4 cars of different banks and 10 coming to try market the same customer. So I came as a financer. These were all banks. They had left. I was the last to come in, and the customer looked at me. I would decide something. Then he said something about Big Brother Nigeria. I don't truly watch Big Brother Nigeria because I know that I'll be on the feed all the time to talk to people. So I just make sure that I ask questions and I get a summary of what has happened. So I gave a summary, and it was like, oh wow, I'm going to give you money. Those other bankers, they don't know anything. He came here and it's just money, 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 money. I asked him about Big Brother. That was the second edition of Big Brother also. They didn't know anything. He brought out his checkbook. In those days, you can write 100 million check. And he wrote the check. And that was it. So I came from a finance company and I took a customer that banks could not get. So self-confidence and knowing how to strike that conversation is very important.
Thank you so much. We're about to end the session now, but before we do, just one sentence for Mrs. Akishola and Mrs. Boyo. What do you want the audience to take away from here? Just one sentence in terms of networking. What do you think is very important to take away from here?
So I was going to talk about a question, which basically I was going to say from Toyin's chapter 6, which she talked about networking effectively, and I noticed the first page she wrote was free. So I was alarmed. I said, I thought I was the only one that used to do that. But prayer is key. Prayer is key when you're approaching people. When you're attending a conference, a party, with the mindset of networking for your particular purpose. Because prayer will give you discernment, will give you wisdom, will give you knowledge about who to approach.
Thank you so much. Prayer is key. This is very important.
I think for me, it's to be that honor is very important. Honoring people, at the core of, you're not going to, at the core of networking, you're not just trying to use people. So whenever people maybe connect you to a business, they'll give you a contract. I've had different people who have referred clients to my business, and after we're done with the project, I actually intentionally take a gift to the person who referred. Right, so it's very important.
Thank you so much. So we've learned from Mr. Odewe that we should also connect with them, know what they like, know their hobbies, pray and honor. I think this is a good place to end today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We really learned a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can we please appreciate our moderator and panelists? Before you go back, please, we'd like to take a picture with you with the author. And I know that she wants to have her book in her hands because this book is gold. So we have about 5 minutes now for a speed networking session. If there's anyone you've seen here so far, you've admired their outfit, or you heard when I read their profile and I have to meet him, I have to meet her, this is the time to do that. So I'm going to give us 5 minutes to get to meet people, because at a networking event, you must actually do what? Network, right? So we're going to take 5 minutes. It is about 12:47. We'll be back at 12:52 after meeting at least 1 or 2 people. And me, I'm going to enter teacher mode and ask you who you met and who you spoke to. So please come correct with your answers. Do we have a deal? Do we have a deal? Okay, it's only a few people. All right. We'll see at the examination center when we're back. Thank you very much, everyone. So let's get into that speed networking session and meet one another. I expect those at the back to come to the front, and then we meet people and engage with people. I'm going to drop the mic too because I'm going to meet people.
Say, please, everyone, with your hands at your chest, say, I am important to God. I matter. I am special. I am worthy. I am beautiful or handsome. I am smart. I am intelligent. I have something great to offer to the world. And last but not least, God loves me. Thank you very much. My name is Keith.
We've seen the book, we can see the cake that has the design of the book. Pete has exposed a bit of what is in the book, so it's not such a mystery if you've not read it yet. But just to let you know a bit about what's in the book, it's 7 chapters, and the chapters are these things. We have a chapter on networking, what exactly it is, why you need to network, the right mindset in networking. That was where Pete took those affirmations from, because truly, if you haven't settled it in here, there isn't so much that you can do outward. We have another chapter on confidence boosters, the different types of and levels of networking, where and how to network, and of course, the most important part that we have alluded to at some point,
knowing that you must follow up. It goes beyond handshakes, right? At the end of the day, there is work to be done after that initial contact period. So we're going to have a book reading, and we have the author who is going to come and read the book. But before she does that, I saw a copy of the book earlier on. Please can someone get me a copy of the book? Oh, yes. Thank you. Okay, so after the book reading, we're going to go into the book launch program. But I just want to let us know that truly this is a gold mine that every single person that has come here should live with, right? One thing, I'm like, so I'm out here a lot, but people don't know that I'm actually an introvert. So when I say they're like, really? Yeah, really. So the vulnerability in this book is gold. First of all, when someone shares their story, shares what they did right, what they did wrong, that's something for you to learn from. We must always learn from experience, but not always ours. So what this book has done is it has chronicled the author's experience in networking. And like she said to us at the very beginning, it's an assignment. I know. And I'm hoping that I can transfer it to you. That once you get a copy of this and you do take those steps, things are going to change with the circle of people that you have. You're going to move into circles of people that will elevate you and get you into that place where you desire to be. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me, put your hands together as we welcome the delectable author, the latest author in town, Mrs. Tony Asada Esquire, as she reads a portion of the book. Please take your seat.
Very much. Thank you so much, everyone. Today has been amazing so far, if I do say so myself. So very God, we are achieving the essence of this gathering. I want to share their stories from different walks of life, and it's been happening. I hope you feel the same way. Thank you. So I've chosen two parts of it. Two parts that from the conversations resonated to the issue of fear, shyness, insecurity. We all feel it. Everybody feels it. I've met people and everybody tells you they feel it. So let's talk about it for a bit. So if you have your book, page 25. So I'll read some parts of page 25 and also some parts of 26 to 27. So I'm reading this from, I'm trying not to read too long, so I'm trying to find out where I will start from. Okay, so I will start from the second paragraph on page 25. So it goes thus. The topic for this part is titled "You Are Worthy." I find that one of the reasons why people shy away from networking is not simply because they are shy. A lot of the time they feel unworthy or inferior. This especially happens when they find themselves in a room full of accomplished people or high flyers. They may begin to look down on themselves and start to shrink on the inside. In these situations, imposter syndrome is usually at an all-time high. This is even reflected in how we relate or present ourselves to people, especially those who are richer, more famous, older, more beautiful, more connected, or more accomplished. This feeling gets worse when you get snubbed after building up the courage to connect or meet with someone. Ouch. I have been there, but I have also learned that no one can make you feel lower or lesser without your permission. So you need to build yourself up on the inside. So I'm so glad we had a conversation about the inner work. It all starts from the inside. So let's move along to page 26. I wrote some affirmations. So it starts with, I am important to God. I matter. I am special. I am worthy. I am beautiful, handsome. I am smart. I am intelligent. I have something great to offer the world. God loves me. Don't worry if at first you don't believe these words as you're saying them. Just keep repeating them, and soon you will see that your mind will begin to accept and believe them. Psychologists give credence to this kind of affirmation exercise, which they call the cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. The idea behind CBT is that cognitions, another name for thoughts, can affect behavior, and behavior can affect cognitions. Therefore, your behavior of making affirmations to yourself will begin to affect your thoughts regarding yourself. And before long, you will begin to truly believe what you are saying about yourself, and it will reflect in your actions. So I will move along to another part of the book in page 53. This will be shorter. And I decided to pick this part because I also want to emphasize another very important aspect of networking, which is intra-networking. I kind of coined that word myself because I realized how much your current network is so powerful, but we tend to underestimate it. And I want to emphasize it. So that's why I want to read this part. Okay, so this is page 53. In your current network. Nǹkan tí ó wà ní ṣòkòtò. Okay, I'm sorry. Nǹkan tí ó wà ní ṣòkòtò rẹ. Nǹkan tó wà ní ṣòkòtò. Oh my God, Yorùbá girl. I actually wrote this one. Nǹkan tó wà ní ṣòkòtò. Ó ń bẹ lápò ṣòkòtò rẹ. This is a popular Yoruba saying that employs a play on words. When translated, it means what you are looking for in Sokoto, a northern state in Nigeria, is right here in the pocket of your shokoto, your trousers. Are you aware that a lot of times, all that you are looking for just might be within your reach? Yes, you already have what you need. While it is very important to keep building and expanding your network, you also need to learn how to harness your current network that you have. By doing so, you may gain so much more than you could have imagined, even compared to networking with new people. So if you read more, I share a lot of examples in this regard. So this is my second reading. If anybody wants to just share something that resonates with this reading, just one or two readings, let's have it.
Do we have any people? Anyone?
Intra-networking, yes, on the intra-networking, like Tony made mention of, you need to learn to take care of the people you have, the contacts you already have, the friends you already have, invest in them. You might not know that person that you are seeing and just saying how far, how you did, what's up, might be the key to someone that you need to meet in order for you to meet another person. So that one that you have, enjoy it. And just as God asked Moses, what is in your hands? Always ask your friend and look around you, who and what I have.
Please, thank you so much. Okay. That's my partner, by the way. Hello, Uche. Hi. And yes, that's the comment that I want to make on internet. So Tony and I actually met last year, beginning of last year, and we met at a number of events. But at another event towards the end of last year, that it got placed on my spirit. They were talking about partnership, that I sent her a text. I said, how do you find the session? She said she's finding the session fine. So what do you think about partner? She said, well, good. And that was the beginning of where we are today. The point is, we've known ourselves since beginning of the year. I've been on the lookout for partners. I've always been looking around who can fit the bill. So in addition to what Toyosi Wright said on being spiritual, so what is in your hand can be in your hand, but you will not realize. So you have to be in tune with the spiritual voice inside, so that you plug at the right opportunity. Because they and I could have just been like, okay, it's cool, the session is fine, but there was a voice that spoke, and we both heeded to the voice, and we took the time. So you also have to follow through, because I recall pressing, we need to schedule appointments, so you have to follow through. If you leave things to just play out, they may not just play out. So you have to be deliberate, you have to be intentional. The spiritual is real, and you have to be attuned with the inner voice inside so that you can make use of what you already have. Thank you very much for that. A round of applause for her. Yes, thank you very much.
Let's put our hands together.
for the amazing lady of the moment, Miss Toyin Asada. Right now we're going into the book launch. I know that I've spoken earlier on the value of this book, and listening to those parts has once again affirmed what I'm aware of, and the fact that this book is not just a book, it's gold. It's a resource that we know that would revolutionize our relationships. So I'm going to right now invite our special guests. First, I'm going to invite one of our special guests, Mrs. Esther Oglowo, who's going to be the first person to launch the book. Please let's put our hands together. Please put our hands together for mommy. Yes.
Find them useful and find them to know. But the only thing I want to tell you is that if you want to be successful in life, you have to be good. You have to be good. Apart from being good, you don't need a good. But you have to be good. You have to do an extra life to be good. That's what it is.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your comments and admonition. We know we had spoken earlier on character. I think it was maybe that highlighted that, I'm not sure. But definitely we know that that has a role to play. Please let's also welcome Dr. Miss Soile. A round of applause for her.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
It's very useful to launch today. Since she was in the baby life, saying that wherever and that he was smiling, and cheering her because that we were family friends, and he was very participating in professional education of children and bringing them up to stand out. So, today I say well done, and congrats to mommy and dad. We've come a long way. The book I've read it actually not because I've read it the whole my people sent to my children to say they should buy it. And in fact, I said if I don't, one of them will contribute chapter to this book is somebody who networks very well when it was so popular. It was sent to school. And when you ask me where are you, you say it's attending career fair. All the time, where are you? He's attending one thing or the other. This guy got a job from all these moving around, trying to connect with people who don't know even know. On his own, just moving around, trying to connect with professional work. He never looked for a job for one single day because of connection. So he said that I would have asked him to write something there because it's quite good. So there's a lot that this book is teaching us. It's not just for now. It's gold. It's something that can be read over and over again. So I say, well done, join more grace and more peace.
Thank you
very much. Please let's put our hands together for Mommy. We're going to also have a few words from Mommy Mary Olufemi Ali. A round of applause for the mom of our own.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Thank God today. I'm the most happiest person today that I'm alive. I thank God that my fourth foot, she's doing well. I bless the name of the Lord. I've read the book and I learned a lot. Even there are some things that I did not even notice before. When I was reading it, I saw some things that can improve my life. Because I was so retired, some months ago. So when I retire, what can I do? Am I going to sit down like this? Oh, I'm over 60. But still, I'm still agile. But when I read it, I still see that there's some things I can see that I saw there, memorize, think about it, read over it, and see after retirement, that's something that I can do. So I give God the glory. More grace to your help on my first